Good morning and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. All right. Hey, Miss G. Hey, Princess Talk is cheap. All right, let me start off with this. This setup that I have on the screen on the monitor gives me three columns. The first column is for me to set up my layers, right? So it gives me all the things to set up, um, to sit here and pre-design something if I wanted to change the scene. So if I wanted to go from this screen to this screen, there's a column that lets me do that, right? In the middle column is the go column. So it's whatever that's being put out in the image, and then underneath it is all of the screens, the different scenes that you have set up. And then the third column, and this is very important, the third column is divided in three parts. So imagine having your computer in one, two, three columns, and then three columns are divided up in three parts. And those three parts are for the green room. If you invite somebody in, you'll see the people sitting there on the green room, right? So that's on the top. A little screen to show you what's being streamed out so that if it's frozen or something, you will see that. And if you change the scene and you didn't do quick change, you get to see the transition of the scene. And then the last little box down there is the chat, which shows you, I think it's 4 lines of the chat. If the chat moves fast, I don't get to see everybody that's in the chat. So, in advance, good morning to anyone who arrives here. Good morning. Yo, I had to explain that to indicate that I've missed some people along the way. So maybe I'm gonna have to do this differently moving forward, uh, because people want to be acknowledged, and I want people to be acknowledged too. But sometimes I can't. But it doesn't mean that just because I didn't say hello to you in the chat, I'm not speaking to you. And to be honest, is when other people speak to you in the chat that I really get to see some of you. Hey, so you see, like the other side of 40. Good morning, Crystal. Right? She just knocked out the comment. Oh, now all I can see is just Princess. Talk is cheap. Good morning. Talk is cheap. Um, and just her. So those are only two comments I could see in this little screen that I have. So apologies in advance. Mr. Alan Walker, how are you? I started to listen to the series that you sent me. I waited. The other one didn't air yet. And I said, let me go listen to the other stuff. So I'm listening to the other stuff. And of course, I have opinions. Um, Good morning, Dream Sensation Grooves and everything. So hopefully that explains why I miss people. If you don't, if I don't say hello to you, it's not my fault. Now see, Evalme, good morning, Evalme. Um, I'm not trying not to show you love, but maybe I gotta rethink that so that we don't have anybody feeling um unappreciated. So that's something I will think about. But if people remember, I'm gonna find it. I have chat rules, and they haven't changed. All right, I'm going to be. It is. It seems deep. I can't stand. There needs to be some kind of panel etiquette, but we'll get into that. I'm definitely think I will talk about it from a different perspective of being informative and not opinion of what the hell is going on in people's psyche. So here's something food for thought. I'm gonna leave my commentary to this article at the end, and that's gonna be difficult because I want the story to get out. I'm not sure I like reading things from CNN though. So hold on 1 minute. Let me see if I find the one that was on my Facebook. All right, good. Here we go. White students called a 10-year-old black girl the N word as they beat her up on New York school bus, court documents say. So let me just retitle this, because this is what brought my attention to this story. White students called a 10-year-old girl, black girl. I don't know why I always miss the black part when I started off with the white students. The N word as they beat her up on New York school bus, court documents say. So I said, I always go, what's in the title? And this is what I want you guys to start to think. What's in the title? Court documents say this. Well, what kind of court are we talking about? Let's go. A 10-year-old African American girl who was beaten up on a school bus in upstate New York told police that her two attackers called her the N-word as the bus monitor did nothing. According to court documents obtained by, this was, all right, so they went by CNN affiliate WWNY. The victim's mother reported the incident to police on September 10th. Her mother said her daughter had a black eye, some of her hair had been pulled out, and her knee was bruised after falling into the school bus seat. Governor police said. So I guess that's the county. Governor is about 100 miles north of Syracuse. The victim, a fifth grader of Governor Middle School, wrote she believed this happened because of the color of my skin, how my hair looks, how I dress, and that I look different from them. Court documents do not identify the race of the two girls or bus monitor charge, but WWNY identify all three as white. Girl writes, the bus monitor did nothing to keep her safe. In a deposition, the victim wrote that the incident began on September 9th when a girl asked to know her first and last name, her grade, and age. I told, redacted name, that it was none of her business and that I wasn't answering her question. Redacted name then told me that I had to tell her or I was going to get into trouble. I still did not answer redacted names question, and she kicked me in the right knee, the victim wrote in a deposition. Then the next day, the victim wrote the same girl was accompanied by another girl. The two discussed how the victim tried to fight the day before. I didn't want to fight anymore, the victim wrote. The three then exchanged words. The victim wrote that one of the girls called her the N-word and the other girl called her so I'm going to say that B word, but it says B, it's got some asterisk, H. The victim wrote the bus monitor identified as, now they do list her name, Tiffany Spicer, 28, was in the back of the bus during the entire incident. Tiffany did not do anything to keep me safe, the victim wrote. Sergeant Darian Fairfax and the Governor of Police wrote in a deposition that surveillance video showed Spencer did go to the back of the bus during the attack, but did nothing when one of the students yelled the N-word in front of her. She did nothing to stop the attack other than say, "You guys are worse than my kids." Spicer has not returned CNS requests for comment. Fairbanks also wrote, the surveillance video showed a girl pulling the victim's hair saying twice that N-word always started, and then I like my people, but I don't like your people. After having her hair pulled and getting punched in the face, the victim says another student stood between her and her attackers so she could get off the bus. Fairbanks wrote in his deposition a boy student was seen on the surveillance video helping the victim off the bus to prevent further attack. The victim was taken to the emergency room and did not attend school the next day. New York governor directs state agency to investigate hate crime. After a police investigation, the two white girls, ages 10 and 11, were arrested Monday and charged with one count of second-degree aggravated assault. The 11-year-old girl also was charged with assault and a third-degree hate crime. The hate crime charge is a felony. Spicer was also charged with 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child Monday because police said she witnessed the assault but did not make an effort to stop and or prevent said behavior. First Student, the bus company, so First Student is the name of the bus company, okay? Used by the school district, has been asked to provide more training to bus aides and monitors, the superintendents told WWNY. Governor Andrew Cuomo said in a statement Wednesday he was appalled by the reports of the 20-minute racist assault, that this was allegedly perpetrated by her own classmates on the school bus with an adult monitor present makes this incident even more shocking and troubling. Cuomo said he's directing the New York State Division of Human Rights, DHR, to open an investigation into the school bus attack and to take legal action to the fullest extent of the law against the perpetrators. Linda Brown Robinson, Syracuse on oh wait a minute, Oganaga, NAACP, right? So now the NAACP is involved. Branch president Linda Brown Robinson told WWNY she doesn't know why people still think it's acceptable to allow things in their presence or do things in their presence of others that are racially motivated. That is a that is a learned behavior that they didn't just get up that morning and decide they were going to whoop on a young person of color. Lauren Finch, Governor Central School District Superintendent, told WWNY the school is planning to have sessions to educate students on bullying and race, as well as separate ones for the community at large. There's just one thing on this I want to go back on to see if I read that right. I'm gonna have to go back and read something later because I want to go to the first day because it seemed like this was a 2-day event. All right. Oh, because she said I didn't want to fight anymore. All right, so here it is. So they redacted names. I told A that it was none of her business and that I wasn't answering her questions. A told told me that I had to tell her or I was going to get into trouble. I still did not answer A's question and she kicked me in the right knee. Okay. So it was a 2-day assault. All right. I just wanted to see who kicked who. I thought maybe the girl kicked her and told like get the fuck out of here. But all right, let me do good morning, Monica Johnson. Welcome. And let me see. Is that the only new person? Diane Sagittarius, good morning. Uh, okay, so let's see what y'all have to say. Here's my thoughts. We are going to follow this story, right? We're going to follow it because it's in the state of New York. Number one, I'm here in the state of New York. I'm not going to tell you my thoughts on what I'm going to try to do, but it's not in the, so let me just be clear. It's in the state of New York, but it is upstate New York. For those people that don't understand the construct of New York, let me take a moment as a New Yorker to explain. There are the 5 boroughs that consist of Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, and Staten Island. Those are the 5 boroughs. They make up what we call New York City. And it sits in New York State, the state of New York. When a lot of people hear people say New York, they normally think of just the 5 boroughs. But New York in and of itself has outlining counties. Just like every other state in the union, there are counties. So this is New York City is a county inside of New York State. Hey, Myron. So that's important to know. I am going to look up New York State, and I should have already had this because I already know this. The kids were charged with. No, I'm gonna have to look that up separate and come back to y'all with it. The kids were charged with aggravated assault. I believe that's what I read. Right now, 2 things. It was it's 1 count of aggravated harassment. So it wasn't even assault. It was aggravated harassment. And then the other count, the other student, the 11-year-old girl also was charged with assault and a 3rd-degree hate crime. The hate crime charge is a felony. All right. So remember, we're talking about children. So children are going to go in New York State. They go to family court, but they go into a juvenile system, right? These hopefully these kids, and I'm saying hopefully as a lover of the law of legal, because hopefully because New York does have standards before they can take a juvenile, anyone under the age of 17, and charge them as an adult, and then they go into criminal court. Hopefully this will stay in the level of a juvenile court. And the reason why I'm phrasing the word hopefully is because I'm figuring that people will be upset with me because I said hopefully, because of the arrested parties here are white. So, and I am a woman of color. Let me tell y'all this: the justice is supposed to be blind. That's why she's standing there blindfolded. That's why she's standing there blindfolded. Good morning, Boogie. Because she's supposed to be blind. So the color is supposed to mean nothing. But let's watch this and see what turns out. Let's see what turns out of it. Let's see what the penalties are. This is what I find interesting and why I want to follow it. It's not because of the N-word. It's not because of any of those items. Few things come out of this for me. A a school officer, I don't know, bus attendant. I guess they're not going to say that's a school worker, but an adult inside of a school building is arrested. Is she charged? Spicer was also charged with 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child Monday because police said she witnessed the assault but did not make any effort to stop and or prevent the said behavior. So the bus aide was charged with 3 counts. I bet the 3 counts, and I'll look them up today. I'll try to find the case. The 3 counts probably were for all 3 children. That's why I'm trying to tell you, justice should be just as blind, but across the board, because her failure to intervene in this matter may have her failure to de-escalate the situation endangered the welfare of all 3 children. This is going to lead to more controversy all the way across the board because your child's supposed to know how to behave. Shit happens on the school bus. Are bus attendants who probably make whatever the minimum wage is, are they going to intercede, leave? I mean, they have enough. They have audio and sounds and video from the bus. I need to know. These are my questions. What kind of bus is this that has an attendant? Because in New York City, the only buses that have attendants are special needs buses, right? So kids are not in the other buses that don't have special needs. Kids can walk up and down the damn bus, and the driver is responsible for keeping order on the bus, which is ridiculous, but that's how it is. And I can see the bus unions, who's ever in charge of the bus unions right now, firing up. And the biggest intrusion here is the governor. And since these are children of non-color, and the governor has demanded that there be actions taken in involvement to the full extent of the law, I want to see what these parents of non-color pull out as their ammo to go after him. Period. End of story. So this is going to be a juicy one, and I want to be here for all of the breakdown. And I hope you join me in that, because I think that this will be one of those that we could really follow. And that's it. That's it. His involvement escalates this. Because I was saying to myself, when do they start posting this kind of shit? And why is there depositions here in a criminal case? So when there's criminal arrests, there are, and this occurred September 10th. It doesn't say when these kids were arrested. It doesn't say that. It doesn't give us enough information as to when. So we have to go back and revisit, see when arrests were made. Were they made September 11th? Were they made now September 29th when this come out? When were these arrests made? How far thereafter? How far since? What got the arrests going? Was it the government's involvement? Was it the lack of action and parents pursued something? Was it the word deposition, which means that parents probably have filed a civil suit, which subsequently brought on an arrest? Because we're talking about from a deposition. When you are in a criminal matter, it is called a complaint, and they normally say the complainant, yada yada yada. It's the DA's report or whatever. It's the arrest or anything of that nature, but it doesn't say deposition. Deposition is a key word, and it's normally part of a civil suit. All right, down south. So if I miss saying hello to you, hello. Um, Morning. Was there any questions in the chat about this bus? Down south, they have attendance. However, they have attendance in there. Okay. However, I have seen some buses with assistance, but it's for young kids. Okay. Um, so just so y'all know, in New York, um, upstate New York is considered upstate. We in that city of New York, they sometimes call us downstate, right? Because upstate is talking about us. They call us downstate. Where the five boroughs are is considered downstate, and so is Long Island. So Suffolk and Nassau County is considered Long Island is considered downstate because we're down the state from them. Okay, we have aides on all buses here in Philadelphia. I have to check. The only thing I know is that when I was a parent advocate, an active parent advocate in New York City, I dealt with school bus issues um, all the time. I advocated for parents on school bus issues, but it was basically getting school buses to service our communities and rewriting zones to get busing so that small kids could get to school. But on none of this, on as I stated during the time I was there, our buses did not have an attendant on it. Now, when we did move upstate because my parents had a house in Orange County um, that we went to in the summers. Uh, but there was, after my sister had a baby, they did stay. My mother did move upstate because she thought it was a better way of life for her because she got a little wild down here. She was like 15 having a baby. So, so my mother took everybody and moved up there. But I was already grown. So I didn't go with the move with them. But when they went up there, they was on buses. I don't remember them having attendants on the bus. So that's just something to look into. Um, Only special ed in New York City has attendants on the bus. And that may be why this person got arrested. This is just me. This is me processing based on what my experience, what may have happened. This may not be the actual facts. This is my thought process. So this is something different than saying this is what happened. This is what I think may have happened. But I will come back and get confirmation on that. Yeah. For the children, for the young kids in my area, they have bus monitors. School just started. Well, September 10th, school would have just started. Um, but it also sounds like when I don't know, for some reason I felt like maybe no, I'm not gonna go there. I don't know. When I first read it, I felt like these kids were probably bus monitors. But I didn't understand why fucking kids was walking up and down asking questions because that's like fucking cardinal rule number one. Have a goddamn seat. Have many seats on the bus. Please have a seat. So as we can see, Momomo could not be a bus driver. Well, you know what? I just realized I can't deal with people's kids every time of the way. I could tell y'all, I was somewhere on Saturday. So this ends this, more to come. I was somewhere on Saturday and I saw some kids doing some crazy shit, right? Two white kids and a black kid. Right? I'm in a little diverse little section right there. So they're doing some crazy shit. Yeah, I don't know about that, Yvonne, because New York City buses are so freaking old. I don't. They got seatbelts and they're always dangling on the ground. I rode the school bus. I never wore a damn seatbelt. So, but in the special needs department, that get the busing, they do make them wear the seatbelts. But their buses are usually small. And I was wondering how the bus was able to pick up the camera was able to pick up so much voice and everything. So I see all kind of defenses if it's what I'm thinking. Anywho, let me tell you about the kids. So 3 kids playing some kind of ball up against the wall in between the doors. So imagine you're going into a store. All right. So we're going into a store and you're coming in from the street. So you're at the parking lot, you go into the first door, right? Right there in the lobby of the building of the store. These kids are playing handball off the wall that's there. And then you go in through the next door and you're inside whatever store you're at, right? So these fucking kids is playing handball on the wall. So I was coming out of the store. So I just saw kids inside that little area. Didn't think nothing of it. When I opened the door, fucking ball went flying. So I said to the black kid, because I don't know these white kids. I don't know the black kid either, but he knows me. Because the sound of my tone was who you know. I said, hey, what are you doing? You could hurt somebody with that, right? So he looks at me. And the other boy's like, you don't have to talk to her. You know the white one, right? I didn't. So he's just looking at me. So I said, where's your mama? He said, she's in there. I said, okay, we need to go to your mother because you're going to be standing here doing this, playing this, hitting this up against the wall, and somebody's going to get hit in the face. And then the next person that gets hit in the face with that ball, they're going to go fuck up your mother. You're going to need your mother because they either going to hurt you or your mother. He said, I'm sorry. I know you're sorry. That's why I'm telling you. You got to think this out. You can't play like this. You can't do what they do. And I mean it. You can't do what they do. So now the 2 little boys is looking. They're like, you're not going to play anymore? He said, mm-mm. Mm-mm. She can't tell you what to do. I'm going to go get my mother. I wish he would. That boy was not moving. But I didn't yell at him. I sound a little story here. I was very sweet and I was surprised at myself. But the message was being conveyed. On top of it, even though he was probably playing with them, he was bigger than them. They were scrawny little white kids. He was built like he could play football at whatever age he was at. He was stocky. He's whatever. Yo. I wish, though, I said to myself, I should have made him go get his mother because I wish I would have told her so that she just know that the little fucking white kids was just like, she can't say nothing to you and all this other stuff. No, we can say something to each other because I want him not to get in trouble. So I'm going to say something. And sometimes, yes, it might be fun to play in that spot right there. But right now, it's dangerous. It's a good game you're playing, but it's dangerous. See, because you could hit somebody with that ball and they coming to get your ass. They ain't coming to get their asses. They going to look at you first, even if they threw the ball. And he was so much bigger than them. I was just like, But why the fuck y'all playing? And that next thing would have been like, whose fucking kid is playing between the doors? Handball. Yo, you get y'all parenting together. Get y'all parenting act together. But guess what? And this is what I want people to know for certain. When you look at your analytics, right? On YouTube, if you've got a channel, look and see who your audience is. Because I am tired of listening to people talk about, I'm trying to reach the youth out here, right? Are they subscribed to your channel? What's up? What cohorts do you have buying into your channel? So today has been a conversation on kids and kids' behaviors because they need to be redirected. I also wanted to highlight harassment, aggravated harassment. Included the N-word. Be mindful of that around here. But I also want you to know that it wasn't just the N-word. It was the physical assault on somebody. So the N-word is part of it's part of it, but more so, it's what it caused the person to do, what they acted upon is the second part. Folks around here is always talking mad crump. Got it. Mad crump about they know this and they know that and they following this and they following that. That's just me. That's about it. I'll address some things else, some elsewhere. Are there any questions, thoughts of yours that you want to share with me on this before I wrap up? I think this is one to follow. And so I'm going to put it in the category of this is what we're going to follow. And sooner than later, will pop off on the other channels. Wu Tang is for the children. What's Wu Tang? I ain't got no time for no new inventions right now. Thing. Y'all see me? I'm doing straggly shit this morning. All right, Alethea, enjoy your day at school. All right. This is Mo, and I've got to go. Thank you all for coming over. I appreciate your participation. Hit the like button on your way out. If you didn't hit it on, make sure the like button shines, or you can turn it off. Just don't hit that dislike button, unless you really got something to dislike. And if you dislike something, write it in the comments so I can understand what I need to do differently. That's how that works. If you want to have a voice in something, you want to dislike something, at least let somebody know what you disliking. Laugh out loud. You don't remember Old Dirty Bastard said that at an award show? No, I'm not from. I wasn't doing the woo. I'm where I'm from. Let me remind you where I'm from. We wasn't doing the woo, but we understand Staten Island had that lockdown. Y'all too, you do you. Anyway, this is Mo. I've got